Somebody at your bank designed that number to keep you paying forever, not by accident, on purpose. Here's the number nobody shows you. Pay a $3,000 balance the minimum payment way, and you will hand the bank $7,657 before it's gone, 15 years from now, for a $3,000 mistake. I'm going to show you the exact math on 3 real balances: small, medium, and I don't want to talk about it. And by the end, you'll know the one-sentence rule that decides whether debt controls you or you control it. Stick around, because balance number 3 is the one most people watching this actually have, and the number's going to make you angry. Quick gut check before we start. Americans are currently sitting on $1.25 trillion in credit card debt. That's not a typo. That's the Federal Reserve's own number from this year. Trillion, with a T. And the reason that number keeps climbing isn't because people are reckless. It's because the minimum payment was built to feel harmless. Here's how it actually works. Most issuers set your minimum payment at roughly 1% of your balance, plus whatever interest accrued that month. Sounds reasonable, right? Just pay a little, chip away at it. Except that 1% is doing almost nothing. The interest is doing almost everything. Picture your payment as a pie. On a $3,000 balance at a normal 23% APR, your first minimum payment is about $88. $57 of that pie goes straight to interest. Only $31 actually touches your balance. You paid $88. Your debt only went down by $31. And here's the part that makes it a trap instead of just a bad deal. As your balance shrinks, so does your minimum payment. So the bank keeps collecting interest on a smaller and smaller monthly amount, which means it takes longer and longer to make a dent. It's not a ladder down, it's a treadmill. This is legal. It's disclosed in the fine print, and almost nobody reads far enough to see it. Before I show you these numbers, guess which of these 3 cards ends up costing the least per dollar borrowed. Most people guess wrong. I'll tell you the answer in a few minutes, and it's the reason the repayment order in part 3 matters more than the balance itself. Let's meet 3 people, different balances, different interest rates, all making the responsible choice of paying at least the minimum every single month on time, no missed payments. This is the best case version of doing it wrong. Card A, $3,000 at 22.99% APR. Minimum payments only. Payoff time, 15 years, 2 months. Total interest paid, $4,657. Total paid to clear a $3,000 debt, $7,657. That's 2.5 times the original balance. For a balance most people think of as not that bad. Card B, $8,000 at 19.99% APR. This one has the lowest interest rate of the 3. Feels like the safe one. Payoff time, 22 years, 9 months. Total interest paid, $12,310. Total paid, $20,310. 22 years. Someone opens this card in their late 20s, and it's still not paid off when their kid graduates college. Card C, $15,000 at 27.99% APR. The one a lot of you are quietly thinking about right now. Payoff time, 29 years, 3 months. Total interest paid, $33,793. Total paid, $48,793. Read that again. $33,793 in interest. On top of the $15,000 you actually borrowed. That's a car. That's a down payment on a house. Gone to interest on a debt that started smaller than a lot of people's annual salary. Add all 3 together and you get the real story. $26,000 borrowed becomes $76,760 paid, stretched across 3 decades. If every one of these people does exactly what their statement tells them to do, that's not a debt problem, that's a design problem, and it's designed to work exactly like this. Okay, the answer to the guess from earlier. Per dollar borrowed, Card A actually costs the least relative to its size, not because it's safest, but because it has the lowest balance times rate combination of the 3. Which tells you the real lesson. The size of the debt is not what matters. The interest rate is what matters. That single idea is the whole strategy in part 3. If you're carrying more than one balance, there are 2 methods people talk about. I'm only going to tell you to use one of them, and I'll tell you why. The avalanche method. List every debt by interest rate, highest to lowest. Pay the minimum on everything except the highest rate card. Throw every spare dollar at that one card until it's dead. Then roll that entire payment, minimum plus extra, onto the next highest rate. Repeat. The snowball method, same idea, but you order by smallest balance instead of highest rate. for psychological wins. Snowball feels better emotionally. Avalanche saves you more money, mathematically, every single time. And with the rates we just looked at, the gap isn't small. Using our 3 cards, Avalanche order means card C gets attacked first. 27.99%, the most expensive money you owe, even though it's also the biggest balance. Then card A at 22.99%. Card B, with the lowest rate, goes last, even though it's the middle balance size. Do that instead of minimum payments on everything, and you're not looking at 29 years and $76,000. You're looking at a payoff timeline that can be cut by more than half, and tens of thousands of dollars that stay in your pocket instead of the bank's. If Snowball is the only thing that will actually get you to stick with it, fine, use it. A method you follow beats a method you abandon, but go in knowing you're trading real money for motivation, and only make that trade on purpose, not by accident. Here's the sentence I promised you at the start. A credit card is not a loan you get to decide the terms of. It's a loan the bank already decided the terms of, and your only real choice is how fast you exit it. If you can't pay the full statement balance by the due date, you're not using the card. The card is using you. That's the entire test. Not, can I afford the minimum? Anyone can afford the minimum. That's the whole trick. The question is, can I afford the whole thing this month? 3 fast rules to actually apply this. First, treat the minimum payment number as a warning, not a target. Most statements now legally have to show you the "if you only pay the minimum" timeline right on the page. Read it. That's not filler text. That's the truth in advertising the bank was forced to give you. Second, if you're carrying a balance right now, stop adding to it today, not next paycheck, today. Every new purchase on a carried balance is compounding on top of compounding. Third, attack by rate, not by size, using the Avalanche order we just walked through. It is, dollar for dollar, the fastest legal way out of what we just calculated. $1.25 trillion in this country is sitting in credit card debt right now, most of it collecting interest faster than it's being paid down. That's not a personal failure. That's what happens when a product is built to look small and act big. You now know the math the statement doesn't spell out for you, and you know the order that actually gets you out. If this helped you look at your own statement differently, hit subscribe. This channel breaks down exactly this kind of thing every week. The stuff that's technically disclosed but never actually explained. Drop a comment with just the interest rate on your highest card. Not the balance, just the rate. I want to see how many of you are sitting above 24%, because I have a feeling the comment section is about to get uncomfortable. And if you've got more than one card and you're not sure which one to attack first, that's exactly what next week's video walks through, step by step with a worksheet. Subscribe so it doesn't get lost in your feed.